Because if the land is stolen and nobody can be here illegally, then the extrapolation on that is that the land is stolen, and if you buy stolen property, then it's not yours, right? Or if you receive stolen property, then legally, once it's found to be stolen property, you have to give it back to the owners. So guys, Billie Eilish decided to make a statement the other day at the Grammys, and we'll watch the video here in a second about what she said. But she decided that she was going to speak up, and she was going to let the world know that in America, you can't own stolen land. This is the definition of not doing, well, here's the problem with this. The problem with this is when you make a statement like what we're getting ready to see Billie say on a very public stage, you are going to invite a lot of criticism on yourself. And it's fun to say these things. It's fun to talk about these things. It's fun to try to make political statements and political stances. But this is one that is very, very easy to call your bluff on almost instantly. So let's see what she actually said, right?
No one is illegal on stolen land.
There it is.
And
I want you to pay attention to this entire exchange because she said no one is illegal on stolen land, and everybody in the crowd erupts, right? It's 100% virtue signaling. The whole crowd erupts, everybody agrees with her, everybody's like, good job, Billie. Good job. Good job. Way to say something controversial. Good job. Good job. We're all on your side. Funnily enough, after the shitstorm fallout that happened, nobody's saying anything. Like Mark Ruffalo, I think, has said something, but basically no other celebrities have opened their mouth publicly. And that's because when you make statements like this, you're inviting a very heavy level of criticism on yourself, right?
yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
I misspoke at the beginning of the video when I said she said no one can own stolen land. Basically, she said no one is illegal on stolen land. Now, what happens is when you are, I'm going to say for sake of argument, seemingly not thinking through your comment, or you are just not understanding the implication of what you say, that leaves a lot of room. And what happens is people who are smarter than you break down what you're saying and then extrapolate out other sort of points based on what you said. Keep that in mind, because now the whole idea is that the entire North America is all stolen land. So when you steal something, typically that means somebody else has a claim to it and they can get it back, right? So now we're going to bring this up. And the reason we're going to bring this up is this is one of Billie Eilish's homes, right? I don't know if this is the home in question or just one of her homes. But the goal here is to look at the type of life and world that she lives in, right? She lives in a very nice house, very nice walls, multiple walls, no way for anybody to get in there. She is very insulated. She is very protected. And she lives in a world in which all of the things that she's saying will never affect her, right? Look at the size of this compound that she lives in, right? Like, just look at it. If you live someplace like this, you can say whatever you want because nothing is going to affect you, right? All countries are stolen land. It's just a matter of how far you go back. You can say that the early colonial Americans stole the land from Native Americans, but some Native Americans stole land from other Native Americans. And those Native Americans stole it from like the Mexican indigenous population that would have been here at a time. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's just this whole abstract way of thinking. And if you try to add logic to it, or try to like attribute logic to the conversation, and you go, well, what about, and you start taking things back further, people go, no. None of that matters. It only matters to the point that we can make our point off of it, right? If we can make our point, then that's where we want to stop looking at history. Anything before that, we don't add, right? She has her own border walls, checkpoints. Yeah, this is definitely a what's good for me is not good for thee, right? So to double back on what we were saying about like, if you dish it out, you should be able to take it. I have not been able to confirm this like quote thing here. So take this with a huge grain of salt. Basically, on some of the images I've seen online, I've seen a lot of people pointing to this, and I don't know where this came from. I have not been able to find this anywhere, so please take it with a grain of salt. But if you're going to make comments like this, so basically the TLDR is the tribe that her mansion is allegedly on's land. It's like a $14 million mansion. They've just asked for it back. They've just been like, well, you know, if it's stolen land and you don't really care, then we'd love to get this mansion. And there was never a response. So then I think like a big law firm in California reached out to the tribe and was like, hey, we'll draw up all of the paperwork for you to like get your land back and whatever. All Billie has to do is just say she'll give it to you, and then we'll do all the paperwork for you and everything else, right? Billie never said anything, right? Like, Billie's never said anything. She's not made any public comments, which, to be fair, is the smartest thing she can do. The smartest thing she can do is just let this die organically. Don't add any fuel to the fire. Don't talk about it. Don't do anything. The best thing you can do is just shut up, because it will sort of burn itself out. If she even makes a single statement, it's going to go up in flames, because what she said implies that she shouldn't have any ownership on this. So there is not really a world in which you can defend your statement, right? Like, you can't defend all land in the US is stolen. It's all stolen from natives. Okay, well then give back your mansions. Well, I mean, it's stolen insofar that it doesn't affect me, right? Like, it's stolen land. You can't be here illegally, but you can own it. Well, I can own it. You can't own it. You see what I mean? As soon as she said that, her attorney called her. As soon as this showed up online, I guarantee somebody called her and was like, shut up, don't talk. I saw this. I cannot find this. I cannot find an article or anything where this came from. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But right here it says, enough. I've heard enough of the taunts. Leave me alone or I'll sue you. Billie Eilish angrily stated in a recent interview following her controversial Grammy acceptance speech and speculation that she should return the land of her $14 million LA mansion to the Tongva tribe. No matter what anyone says, I paid to live here. Now, if she said this kind of flies in the face of her virtue signaling, right? Because if the land is stolen and nobody can be here illegally, then the extrapolation on that is that the land is stolen, and if you buy stolen property, then it's not yours, right? Or if you receive stolen property, then legally, once it's found to be stolen property, you have to give it back to the owners. So this is one of those situations where it sounds really good for celebrities to virtue signal. And what I said earlier was, if you saw during her Grammy acceptance speech, everybody and their brother, right, was just sitting there, and they were all like, everybody was like, right? Like, everybody was clapping. Now that there's heat on her, nobody's really coming out. Nobody's defending her. Nobody's defending the comments. Nobody's saying anything. Do you know why? Because nobody wants the same level of scrutiny. You don't want to be out there virtue signaling and do it in a way that you can actually have your bluff called. Because these people don't care about the thing of the day that they're getting behind. They just want to be seen as a good person, and they want to be seen behind the thing that everybody is talking about, because that keeps them relevant and that keeps them in the public spotlight in a good way. Dude, I don't think this interview happened because her legal firm likely confiscated her phone and locked it in the basement. That's what I said. I would very, very much take this infographic with an entire ocean's worth of salt, because I cannot find this interview. Let's see what Grok says here. Seems to be satirical fiction. Yeah, okay. So this is why I said take it with a grain of salt. But this is why Twitter is so nice. Because even if you don't want to ask Grok, just spend 30 seconds scrolling through Grok, right? And you'll find somebody that does it for you. So this person here says, hey, where did it happen? The quote, "Leave me alone or I'll sue you," seems to be satirical fiction, not from any real Billie Eilish interview. Her actual 2026 Grammy speech referred to no one is illegal on stolen land and criticized ICE, sparking backlash. But no lawsuit threats were reported. So keep in mind, the lawsuit threats, I don't think that Billie threatened to sue people, and I don't think that the Tongva people threatened to sue Billie. I think it was all just public posturing to show the hypocrisy of the situation. So do keep that in mind. But also, always make sure when you find something online and it seems kind of outlandish, to take 5 seconds to look into it. And that's what we did here on stream, right? Took 5 seconds to look into it. There was somebody that asked Grok, and you could see that it's all satire just to try to make her look bad. But guys, at the end of the day, it is a funny situation. And the big takeaway for me is the virtue signaling and just how much people are okay with virtue signaling until they get their bullshit called out. And that's what happened here. Everybody virtue signaled, everybody was happy, everybody said whatever until it was time to call, until the bill came due, and then everybody just instantly shuts up.